every single time we experience one of these events in our country, that one of these horrible mass shootings or terror attacks is inflicted on us and our loved ones, there were always signs that people say, oh yeah, the criminal, the killer was a real weirdo. And that was the case here too, that this 18-year-old kid had serious mental health issues that everyone in his life knew about, that he cut himself. There was a New York Post article, I think I have it up here on my tab still, a New York Post article that was describing his pattern of self-harm. A friend of his had said, well, he showed up to the park one day and he had scratches all over his face. And the friend asked, oh, what happened? At first, the killer said, oh, a cat scratched me, and later admitted that he had cut himself repeatedly with a knife on his face. And when his friend was like, why did you do that? He said, just for fun. That right there, that's a mental health issue. That is a mental illness. Self-harm is a destructive mental illness. He was also violent towards his mother. He was violent towards his mother to the point that she sent him to his grandmother. He later shot his grandmother. This is a mental health issue. At his workplace, he worked at Wendy's. He was known to have been aggressive. He was known to be antisocial, and he was known to have outbursts. These are mental health. These are social problems or mental health problems that display in society that people around him, people who knew him, knew of. He also stopped attending school because he was bullied, because he wore eyeliner, because he was emo, because he had a lisp. All of these different things. I mean, these show perhaps some of the causes of the mental health issues, but they show he had serious mental health issues. And these are not signs that we as a society should ignore. And I know that's very easy to say, oh, if you see these signs, do something about it. And you say, okay, but what is there to do? This is exactly where conservatives get this wrong. Because when conservatives see this scenario, they say, what government policy can we put into place to prevent this? Can we implement a law, a red flag law that empowers law enforcement to take action on someone who is displaying mental health issues to prevent them from even getting their hands on a gun? Is there some kind of policy, at a school that we can look to prevent this? And this is a fundamentally anti-conservative view, because the fundamental ideology of conservatism isn't just small government for the sake of small government. It's small government for two reasons. It's small government to protect against a big government usurping our rights. Big governments tend towards tyranny. It's not a matter of if they do, it's just a matter of when. But the idea of small government or limited government is fundamentally to protect our right to worship, our right to free association, our right to basically to create a community through marriage and the nuclear family unit, and bolstered by our church and our faith community. That's the underlying, the fundamental, the very baseline idea behind limited government. It's not just because, oh, we want a free-for-all, or we want anarchy, or because we didn't like the tyrant King George. The idea of a limited government protecting against, or a limited government being a protection against a usurping big government, is so that we can have the freedom to do those things. And those things, family and religion, those institutions are bulwarks against this kind of behavior, against this kind of evil. Because that's the thing. The people who are advocating that we ignore the killer, that we don't publish his name, that we don't show his photograph or pass it around, that we don't look at his ideology or his history or anything about him, that we don't study him because we don't want to give him infamy and notoriety or create copycats. They're missing the point here. Because the point here is this isn't just an ideological battle between leftist political policies and right, and the political policies of the right. This is far beyond that. This is a battle between good and evil in our country. You don't open fire on 19, 8, 9, and 10-year-olds if you have the Holy Spirit residing in you. This is evil incarnate. This is a person who, yes, was made in the image of God, and at some point made the decision to embrace the great evil one. This is demonic. This is satanic. This is evil. And so the battle that we're fighting in this country isn't the battle between gun control or constitutional carry. This is a much bigger battle. And this evil that I'm talking about, this evil that corrupted a what looks like a mentally vulnerable youth, this evil can take root in a youth like that if evil takes root culturally first. If we don't practice our faith, if we don't have a faith community, if we fail to promote the family, a married mom and dad, if we as a community don't say no to evil and build a structure, an infrastructure of institutions that serve as a bulwark against this evil, then we've left vulnerable youth, or youth who are vulnerable to evil. It's a much bigger thing.